My name is Cian O'Maidin. I'm one of the co-organizers of the event. I guess to start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and my journey to kind of exploring and discovering microservices. So I'm originally a computer scientist. I'm now a CEO and co-founder of a company called Nearform. Also very involved with the Node project. Been involved with the foundation, the formation of Node Foundation and all that stuff. So just a bit about my company. So we started Nearform, a tech company, which is really kind of, I guess, a bit ahead of the times in 2011. My co-founder, Richard Roger, and I, the two of us started around December of 2011 when Node really wasn't being used by anybody. But we were like super excited about the potential to deliver projects more quickly and basically about productivity. And so if you look at the graph on the right-hand side, this is like the number of Node modules downloaded per month. So when we started out, we were in the order of about 2 million modules a month were being downloaded from NPM. As of June of 2015, we're at 1.8 billion modules a month. So the growth has been staggering. And so the interesting thing with Nearform and how we kind of discovered microservices was our first year in business, we actually started losing money on our first couple of Node projects. And basically what was happening was our developers were building monoliths in Node.js with Express. And it's really not a good idea to build large code bases with JavaScript. So around middle of 2012, we saw some talks online by a guy called Fred George. He was talking about programmer anarchy and microservices. And we asked him to come to Dublin and do a talk at one of our events. And his message really started to resonate with us. So we started applying this microservices pattern to our projects, and hey presto, we started being more productive and making a profit of what we were doing in our business. So I guess a bit of a history lesson and some trends that would be kind of worth looking at. So since about 1970, there's been a linear growth in the number of lines of code in the biggest software systems. And what you get every 10 years is you get like an increase in complexity, and then new technologies start to appear, which enables developers to become more productive. And you see old ideas making a comeback. So, in the early 1970s, we had like non-SQL databases, and then SQL came around, and around the 2000s, no SQL came around, and we had functional programming in the 1970s and 80s, and then objects, and now we're back to functional programming again. So one of the major trends today is microservice architecture. It's starting to bring a lot of new possibilities to us. Another trend we have is the availability of app runtimes. So the amount of time it takes to spin up a new application environment has been dropping sharply for the last 20 years. So, in 1990, 2 or 3 days would be pretty state of the art to get a new operating system to run one of your applications on. And this has dropped a lot in the last 10 years. So with VMs, we got to minutes, AWS, we got to seconds, and now with Docker, we're getting to sub-seconds. So this is really giving us the ability to re-examine the practices that we've adopted over the last 20 years. And many of the tools we've developed, and especially around Agile, are from 20 years ago. So we now have the opportunity to move much more quickly. So with microservices, if you look at Google Trends, I always find it's an interesting website to look at to see what people are talking about online. The interest in microservices has really sparked from the beginning of 2014. So it grew 1,000% last year. This year it's looking like it's probably going to grow another 1,000% again. So the thing is, like, everybody is talking about microservices, but like the question is, who's actually doing them? And the other questions are, what are microservices? There are a huge amount of different definitions out there. So today really is about trying to answer some of those questions and create a forum for debate and discussion around this new area. So we came up with the idea of running a Microservices Day really to help people to understand this technology and try and help the community to grow. So the day is a day of two halves. We have some really nice treats in store. The morning we've got speakers from Guild Group and Halo and Netflix, who've been three of the major companies to promote and evangelize microservices in real scale production environments. And following that, we've got Fred George, who's basically the guy that coined the term microservices. He's going to do a panel on what exactly are microservices. And then in the afternoon, we've got a bunch of really great talks, and we're going to focus on a lot of the business experiences of implementing microservices. So before I start, I'd just like to thank all the speakers for coming here today. So we've got people who have traveled from all over Europe, the west coast of the US, all over the place to be here. And also thanks to Sati, Joe and Suman and all the folks at MDL for making this event happen. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll hand over to Sean from Guild Group. Thanks.